Hello, my name is Imran Aslam. Today I am going to give a demonstration on centrifugal pump performance curve modeling. First of all, I will explain the installation procedure of this application from the setup file. So if you have already downloaded the setup file from my website www.petrosoft.com, then you can simply double click this application setup file. The application wizard will be launched. From the language option, you can select the appropriate language and then press OK button. It will take you to the license agreement window where you can select the appropriate option and press the next button. It will take you then to the information page where again you can press the next button, and then it will take you to the option where it asks you to create a desktop shortcut. It is always good to create a desktop shortcut so that you can launch the application anytime in future straight from your desktop. Then press the next button here. It will take you to the final step of the installation, where by pressing the install button the application will be installed on your computer in few seconds. Since I already have this application installed on my computer, I will simply cancel out this utility and go to my desktop where I already have created the desktop shortcut of this application during the installation earlier. Here you can see I have a desktop shortcut or a desktop shortcut created on my desktop, where I will just simply double click this desktop shortcut. Application will be launched on my computer instantly. First, look at the menu bar at the top. The first menu option is the file menu option. Under the file menu option there are further three sub options are provided. The first option is a new option that can be used to launch the new instance of the application. For example, if I close the application from the close button and then press the new button under the file menu tab, the new instance of the application will be launched. The next option under the file is the save option, as a save button, save menu tab, which can generate the PDF results, the results of the application in the PDF file format. The next option is the exit to close the application. The next menu tab on the menu bar is the about, where you can read the brief about the application and the developer. The next menu tab is the help menu tab, which can be used to launch the manual of this application in the PDF file format. In the manual of this application, the detailed narrative and description of each step and all the pages with the pictorial representation is already provided, that can be used anytime during the utilization of this application. So now let's go back to the main application. The next tab on the menu bar is the link to my website, where you can find more chemical engineering applications. Now let's talk about the main function of this application. As you have already, for example, if you already have a centrifugal pump provided or purchased from the vendor, that centrifugal pump will always come, or the vendor will provide the performance curve or a performance data of the pump, which will be generated at some reference fluid, and in most of the cases it will be a water that is used as a reference or a base case fluid to generate the performance curve of the pump. However, but when you install this pump on at the site, it is not likely to operate always with the same reference fluid, which is water. It can be used to on a different or a variety of different fluids which have different physical properties, or the pump may be operating at different speed, or the pump size or impeller diameter you may have to change any time in the future or any time during the operation. So anytime when you change the process fluid or the physical properties of the fluid or the dimension or the speed of the pump, then the performance curve will not be the same as it was originally designed or developed or provided by the vendor. So in that case, this application is very useful to generate the new performance curve of this original pump for any given conditions at your site. So this is the main function of this application. Now let's look at the input section of this application. The first tab on the left hand side is the input section or the input page, where the user need to provide the necessary required information in order to run the application and generate the new performance curve of the pump. So the first section is the operating condition, where the user need to provide the operating condition in terms of flow and the head and the discharge pressure of the destination equipment. The next section is the original pump performance curve option. So here, as I mentioned, the vendors are mostly, or the manufacturer mostly, develop the performance curve of the pump, of any pump, based on the reference fluid, and in most of the cases they use water as a reference. However, sometimes they also use a different process fluid or a different fluid or a viscous fluid or a different fluid than the water to generate the original performance curve, which again can be different or vary with your site-based fluid process condition or physical properties. So in this section you can select the option at which condition or a which base case process fluid or a fluid, original fluid, the pump was originally designed for. So if it is designed for water as a reference or a base case fluid, then you can select the first option here, which is original pump, option A. Or if the pump originally designed or the original performance curve were designed for a different fluid other than the water, then you can select the second option. So basically both the options are provided for the user to select from one of them. The next section is the original pump physical properties of the fluid based on the original fluid at which the pump was initially designed for, and the information regarding the impeller size and the speed of the pump, the specific gravity of the fluid, specific heat of the fluid, and the viscosity of the fluid needs to be provided in this section. The third section at the bottom is a section where the user need to provide the physical properties of the fluid at which this pump is supposed to be operating, or if you are retrofitting this pump or modifying this pump in terms of speed or in terms of size of the impeller, then this section is where the user need to provide the new information at which the pump is supposed to be operating or wish to be operated. Now the next section on the top right hand side is the performance curve data for the OEM or manufacturer or a design case condition provided by the vendor or generated or developed or provided by the vendor and given in the manual. So this information regarding the five main basic process variables in terms of flow, head, and efficiency, and NPSHR needs to be provided by the user in this section. So this data can be pulled out from the vendor's provided manual or data sheet. Then all the required information or the input fields are completed at this section. Now the application is ready to run and generate the new performance curve of the pump for the new base case process fluid or the site based condition. Once all this information is provided, again the user can press the calculate button down below. The calculation will be done immediately, and the message bar at the bottom will turn into green with the caption OK on it, which means that the calculation has successfully completed. No error messages were found. If, however, user has provided any incorrect input value, for example, if I change any numeric data into a text data and then press the calculate button, then I will get the error message and the message bar turns red with a message to review the inputs, where the user can go back and change the required inputs to the correct or appropriate numeric data or a numeric value then again press the calculate button. The calculation will resume and refresh the calculation once again. Now on the input section or the input page, there are two sections for the results are provided where the summary of the results can be seen. The first section is related to the pump curve equations. So as I mentioned, this application will generate the performance curve for the pump for a given condition, as well as for the OEM or a vendor's provided data. So all the performance curve equation, a quadratic equation, will also be calculated and displayed in this section over here. The next section is the pump performance. Here you can see quickly the developed head by the pump for the original condition to the modified condition, and then you can compare the results whether it is meeting the requirement or you need to change some inputs or etc. At the bottom there is another important variable is calculated, which is the delta P, or a differential pressure across the pump discharge flow rate and the control valve. So if the pump is generating the head greater than the system required head, it means that the pump is adequate. However, as it is generating more pressure, so you always need a control valve to drop the pressure to equalize or balance the pressure according to your system requirement. Then how much pressure drop would be required is also calculated, and accordingly you can also size the control valve for the discharge of the pump. Now this is pretty much the information on the input page. Now moving to the performance data or a performance curve page, which is the second page after the input page. Here on this page you can actually analyze or visualize all the performance curve of the pump. These performance curves are generated for the original base case condition, which is provided by the vendor, and for the new site based fluid condition, which the site needs to be where you need to operate this pump at the site. Also, on the bottom of this graph or a performance curve, further options are provided here to analyze or visualize each condition separately, which means that you can analyze each performance curve one by one. So starting from the leftmost option, which is the original pump with the initial fluid curve, if I select this option, then I can actually visualize the actual performance curve of the pump which was initially developed or provided by the vendor. The next option is for the modified pump at the initial fluid. So for example, if I modify the pump but keep the initial reference fluid same, then I can also visualize how the performance curve of the pump will look like. The third option is the modified pump with a new fluid. This is the option, or this is the option which represents your site based condition, that you are going to modify this pump for the site based process fluid, and then you can generate the process performance curve, and here you can visualize how this performance curve will look like. And again you can compare this performance curve for the new site based condition and compare it with the system head, which is represented with a red curve over here and a small triangular dot or a triangular red green color triangle on the curve that represents the required head, and the small diamond, green colored diamond on the orange performance curve, orange color performance curve, is your operating point of the pump. So if this operating point on the pump is higher than your system required head, it means that the pump is adequate for the new service. So the next option is all performance curve comparison. So if you like to compare all the performance curve or draw or project all the performance curve on the graph at the same time, then you can select this option. The next option after this is the original pump with a new curve versus the fluid curve. So basically, if you like to compare the original reference performance curve of the pump with your new side base condition performance curve, you can select this option and then you can compare the two performance curve together at the same time. Again, the other option is to compare the modified pump curve with the new fluid and the old fluid. So again, you can draw the two performance curve for the modified condition for the new fluid, your side base fluid, and the original pump reference fluid, which is water, for example. So again, you can compare the two performance curves. At the last option, you can only project the system curve to analyze the system curve with the required head shown as a little triangle, green color triangle on the required head curve. Now, on this page here, a print chart option is available where user can press this option to print out all of these different option charts or graphs separately into the PDF format. When you press this print chart option, the results will be printed out and displayed over here like in a PDF file where you can use it later on as a reference. Now moving back to the application and talk about the last performance data tab. Here on the performance data tab, all the performance curve which has been discussed and explained earlier in the performance curve tab are displayed in a tabulated form, in a tables form in this performance data tab. Also, the system curve is also projected into the tabulated form on this page as well. Now once all the calculations are done and you have reviewed all the calculations, and if you wanted to print out these results into the PDF file or save into the PDF file, you can always do that by pressing the print preview button here. The print preview dialog box will open where you can review all the prints. All the printed results are displayed and you can analyze and review them. Now once the results are okay and you wanted to save this PDF file, you can press the print button. It will open up the print dialog box where you can print out these results straight away into the PDF file or through your connected network printer. Once you print the results in the PDF file, here how the results will be shown, you can view them. So you can save the results in the PDF file as well. Now this is pretty much all about this application. Thank you for your time and patience. Hope you have liked the video. For more informative videos on my applications, please visit my website, like my channel and subscribe my channel. Until then, thank you very much. Bye bye.